Hi, friends. Thank you for being with us. This is Food for Thought, and this is Sunil Chandy. Oh, I think my host is, yeah, that's good. That's good. How are you doing? This is Sunil Chandy, Food for Thought, and we thank you for being with us on this Monday morning, the Sunday after the first Sunday, or the Monday after the first Sunday of Advent. Hey, Jan, how are you doing? Hello, and good to see you again. You're one of my favorite people, and I love the fact that you love this show. And I love the fact that we're all here on this. So I'm trying to get on us on my iPad. Hey, Mary, good to see you watching. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for being with us also. It's a great joy for have you all there. Neil, you're on too. Good afternoon. I hope that you and Valerie are doing well. It's good to see your image. And Neil and I, actually, we've been doing a really interesting thing over the last two Saturdays. Now it's become, because when you do it 3 times, it becomes a routine. So hopefully we'll do it this Saturday also. But we've been riding our bikes together and getting out some exercise and engaging in some breathing outside. And that has been a good experience for us as we talk together. And we're planning some different things to do in terms of ministry. And so, Neil, thank you for being my riding buddy on Saturdays. So today this week, we're going to be talking really with people who are involved with a great ministry in our community, and that is our bazaar, Christmas bazaar. This year, COVID-19 has caused us to kind of adapt and hopefully overcome the challenge that we have right now, which is this challenge of not being able to do things in person. And so this week, we're engaging in our virtual online bazaar. It's really a creative enterprise that we've been engaging in with members of our committee and chairs of our bazaar committee, and that is Wendy Hyde and Lisa Kitchen, and they're working closely with Ben and Jackie, our parish administrator, Ben Barber, our producer, and hopefully this week we'll have some fun times as we do this meaningful work in our church in terms of this fundraising effort. So today we're going to have two guests that are members of our parish and who have worked on this bazaar, and they'll give us a little history of the bazaar. But before we go into that, I do want to share with you a thought that for this week, or for today at least. As you know, I read the scriptures do morning prayer every morning, and what I do is I use that time to actually prepare the service for the sermon on Sunday, and I'm using the lectionary, and one of the readings that came out today is Peter's epistle, second letter of Peter, and so there was a line in there that I thought was very, very interesting and important for us as we're in this in-between time. All of the readings around this time is our Advent reading. It's the season of Advent in which we are kind of waiting in the midst of this winter to kind of experience Christmas, and all of the readings call us to be alert, to be patient, to be have hope, even in the midst of challenges. And it's a great metaphor. Advent is a great metaphor for us, in our time when we're waiting right now. I mean, part of it is we're waiting for the day when a vaccine will be finally out for all of us, so that we could kind of get back to the normal situation that we used to have. Although that's usually what, even after going through any kind of challenge, that you're never going to go back to where you were before. There's always going to be some new experience that this challenge has called us to live into. And so the readings for Advent are very appropriate for our world right at this moment. And this letter from Peter is one that's very important. and he talks to people who are waiting for the coming of God. The the early Christians believed that Jesus would come, that his arrival back into this human plane of existence would be imminent. It would be immediate, and they were waiting for the day of the Lord, and they were undergoing the persecution and challenges of the day, and they were trying to not lose hope. And Peter said something really interesting today. But that day the Lord will come like a thief, and then the heavens will pass away with a loud noise. The elements will be dissolved with fire, and the earth and everything that is done on it will be disclosed. Since all these things are to be dissolved in this way, and this is where it comes in important. It's from 2 Peter chapter 3, verses 8 through 15a. What sort of persons ought you to be in leading lives of holiness and godliness, waiting for and hastening the coming of the day of God, because of which the heavens will be set ablaze and dissolved, and the elements will melt with fire? I think that's really an interesting question. What sort of person will you be? What sort of person will you be in this in-between time? I love it over and over in my readings. It's this concept of when people aren't watching, when things are hard, what type of person are you going to be? That's always been a question in my mind. Outwardly, I'm a priest. When people are watching me, right? When I'm out there in the community, but when I'm here alone, and when I'm not not being watched by anyone, what type of person would I be? What type of priest would I be? And so this is a deep question that calls us to reflect. Especially during this time of waiting. How do we want to wait? Do we want to be anxious about the future? Do we want to be scared? Do we want to, even in our anxieties and pressures with all this outside challenge, do we change the way we act towards one another? I know that sometimes when I'm at home, the demons come out. The idea that like I all the pressures of the world come out, and then I come back home, and all of a sudden I'm short-tempered with my kids or my wife, and life. I'm not as kind and gentle as I am to other people. People always tell me. I always tell my my family, everybody else loves me, but you're the only ones that have a hard time with me, which I know is not true. I know that's not true. And maybe that's because everybody else is watching me out there, and I have to be on my best behavior. But I think what Peter is calling us to think about is who are you? Who do you want to be? Not just when everybody's watching, not just out there in the world, when everything is going perfectly. Who do you want to be all the time? At home, or when the pressures are around you, who do you want to be? I think Peter is calling us to think about our identity. Do we want to be like what Christ calls us to be, which is gentle, hopeful, joyful, even in the midst of all the changing circumstances of life? I know that when I start to think about this deeply, I know I want to be a great father to my kids. I want to be a loving husband to my wife. I want to be a good man, and I want them to be happy and joyful. I want also not to be scared about living. That's part of the challenge of today, I think. Yeah, Jesus was not a person who was scared of living life, of laughing, of being joyful, of engaging life on his terms. That's the type of person I want to be. Of course, I want to be safe too. I want to be careful. I want to do what's necessary. I want to use science. I want to think about my life and how I interact with the world, especially now in this COVID-19 environment. I'll wear my mask because it not only protects me, but protects the people around me. I'll keep socially distant from everyone because not only do I not want to get the virus, but if I have the virus, I don't want to pass it on to anyone else. And I also, even if I don't have the virus, which I don't, I haven't tested positive or anything, but I want to model that behavior to the people around me so that they would be able to understand how to act and be in the world too. Who do we want to be? That's a question. It's a deep and wonderful question. What is it? What sort of persons ought you to be in leading lives of holiness and godliness? St. Peter says, or asks, and waiting for the hastening of the coming of the day. While we wait, who do we want to be? I know that I have great parishioners in our congregation, and two of these people are joining us right now, Dana Semeraro and Lisa Kitchen. I'm hoping that Lisa came on board too. No, not Lisa, Janet Kitchen. I'm sorry, Janet Kitchen. They will talk to us about the Christmas Bazaar, the virtual Christmas Bazaar. We might also talk a little bit about the history of the Bazaar because they were both of them have been involved in the leadership of organizing the in-person Christmas bazaars over these last maybe several years. I mean, it's been in place over 30 years. But Ben, would you please bring Janet and Dana on board? Oh, hey Dana, how are you?
Good.
Good.
I think Janet's having some trouble getting connected, so they're working on that.
Okay, well, it's lovely to have you right now, Dana. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Janet was chair of the bazaar for years when we first came to Christ Church 16 years ago. So I don't know how long she had been chair. And then I think there were some other people in between. I was chair for I think 3 years with Karen Jensen, and ironically, the first year we had nobody for the baked goods area. And I don't know how Wendy Hyde had come to our attention, but we hardly knew her at all. Karen didn't know her at all. And I just said, well, she seems like a very enthusiastic, person. Let's put her in charge. Well, the day of the bazaar came, and the whole baked goods room had not been set up or anything. It was like 9:15, and everybody's about to come in, and we're tearing our hair out. And Wendy shows up very nonchalantly. Said, Wendy, and she said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't think I had to be here before now. Well, of course, not only did she set it up and do beautifully, I mean, she's now the most, creative, energetic, effective in person going on. So I'm glad, I feel like we got her into the beginning of it, and now she's running everything. So it's great.
I think that's a beautiful thing. I love, I remember 6 years ago being here at the first Christmas Bazaar. And oh my God, it was just so beautiful. I mean, all of us were like, I remember I had to say the prayer, and there's activity in the parish hall, in all the different rooms downstairs as you enter into the church from the other entrance. It was just like people were singing. There was food. I love the food,
Yeah. Yeah, it's upstairs, downstairs, all around the town. It's wonderful when it's going on. It's just sort of percolating everywhere,
It was a wonderful experience of what this activity brings to the it's a community experience, and then it brings other people from outside into our community, and it was beautiful, and and it was and also
a lot of people from outside. Yeah. People from outside who come in, and they're very welcomed, and they feel good about it, and they get to know other people at the bazaar. It's great, really a nice community event. So,
And I remember Karen and you being the chair, and I thought that was beautiful. And it was just, you guys were very inspiring. And I'm so glad that Lisa and Wendy, took over charge of this thing, because it's such an important ministry for us. Now,
it is. We were so grateful. First, I think Lisa took it over herself, and then she got Wendy involved with her, and the two of them have just taken off. They've just been wonderful. They're both creative and energetic. I don't know how they get everything done that they do, but they do. Wonderful.
And I think they're and for right now, they are the chair that we are needing right at this moment, right? Because they are creative, and this time calls us to be very creative, and
that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I remember like 5 years ago, people had a hard time even just getting online. Now this is all we do. And
we're all learning day by day. We get a little better at the technology. I mean, we've got a bunch of book groups going, on tech, and every time we have some problems to overcome, either by the audio or the visual. But we're all learning. We're all learning, and it's great. And I envy those people though who have young people in their house who give them a lot of help, which we don't have.
Well, you know what? You and your husband Richard are amazing. I mean, you're right now speaking to us off of your phone, aren't you?
Right. Yes. Right. Yeah. The other didn't work, so we never know when one thing's going to work or not. But the phone at least came through, so we rely on that. But
and I think that's
Richard is. Yeah, I was going to say, speaking with the bazaar, Richard, as you know, has done the book for quite a few years now. So he's trying to come up with some kind of a creative way that we can do books on some kind of a visual, either virtual or by appointment in the parish house or something. So we're working on that to see if we can, because we've been storing books. We still have a lot of books that we have, and I'm sure other people do too. So we're working on that. Hopefully, maybe in January, when there's a lull, we can figure out a creative way to do some kind of a book bazaar. So we'll see how that goes.
I think this is kind of like speaking to what St. Peter is saying in the epistle for this coming week. We just got to be. We've got, I know the type of person I think our church is. We're the type of people that look at a challenge and adapt. We know that God's Holy Spirit is leading us in this thing. We know that our work is important, and because of that, we encourage each other. I mean, people like Wendy and Lisa, you and Janet Kitchen. People that you encourage people to say, hey, look, this is our challenge, but that's okay. God's still in the midst of it, and
we're happy that us older folk are moving aside, and that wonderful younger, energetic people like Wendy and Lisa have stepped up and are just doing such a fantastic job. So that's very encouraging for all of us.
Yeah. Yes, I believe so too. So I know that we have. So I know I have some information about the Christmas Bazaar, but we have like a couple of things going on. We have, I think, the marketplace, which is something that's on our website right now, our Christchurch website, and they have in that marketplace they have all these the crafts, the knitted items, the baked goods, the frozen food, the choir soup. The choir made soup again.
They have, and I tell you, we've been buying it all up. It's just it's wonderful. We figure we're stocking up for the winter. We've got all our food for the winter here, so it's fabulous. And I go on every day because every day there are some new things on there. So I think I've ordered. I have about 6 different orders because every day I order some more things. So looking forward to that. And now the auction. Now they've got the live auction up. And so I've started bidding on the various auction things, which is great. Hi, there's Janet.
Okay.
Janet's on, and she's talking to our tech person here. Hey, Janet, how are you?
Oh, gosh, I hate technology. Can I just tell you how much I hate technology?
That's okay. That's okay. You're still on.
Crazy. Put me in a room with all technology and have to solve the issues.
All right. So who are you on the phone with?
I was on the phone with my daughter-in-law and then Jackie. Jackie's now, I think, going out to drink. Anyways, I'm pretty sure.
Folks,
Yeah.
let me remind you.
You will follow her soon.
Folks, for those of you watching, let me remind you, Jackie doesn't have access to the sacramental wine. I promise it.
Absolutely.
Well, Janet, you know what? We were just talking a little bit about the Christmas Bazaar, about the history of it, and what's happening. But I gotta first thank you for. I know it's tough sometimes to get onto technology, and 5 years ago we didn't have to do this, but 6 months ago we didn't have to do this, but we're doing it, and I'm so grateful for your effort in that and your positive energy around it. And because we have people like Ben and Jackie to help us, we're making this work.
I'll make it through.
You'll make it through. You'll make it through. Yes. So we were just talking about the marketplace and all the wonderful things, and we were talking. And I got to tell you, with the marketplace, whoever took those pictures, they're really lovely. Especially all the food items. I mean, I'm like, it's like a Pavlov's dogs here. I'm
one of everything. I'll take one of everything.
That's right. That's right. So there's also on top of. Go ahead, Dana. I'm sorry.
Good. Janet, I was going to ask you, because when we came to Christchurch 16 years ago, you were chair of the bazaar, and I think you'd been chair for many years. How many years had you done it?
I don't actually remember that part. I'm not good at that part of thing. I remember that way back, they didn't have a bazaar when I first came, and I was sort of in a harumph about it because my mom's church up in Cranston, it's a small little church, and they ran it for 2 days and they made quite a bit of money. And so I was in a really big harumph, actually. And so I decided to resurrect the bazaar. And the first year I did it completely on my own.
Well, let me ask you a question. How long? So you've been here, a part of Christchurch, for how long?
Charlie and I have been married 54 years. So we've been here in Westerly as a married couple for 53.
53 years. So the bazaar you must have done it like the year or two after you got married?
No, I think my kids were little. So Stephen's 50. So somewhere around 45 years ago, maybe. I don't know.
So that's what.
Yeah, age doesn't really mean anything to me. So I just don't keep track of anything.
Yeah.
That's good.
But probably what we're saying is that at least 40 years, 40 years, Christmas Bazaar has been in place, and that's amazing. That's amazing.
And I think the first year we probably only made maybe not even $2,000.
Yeah.
Big year. It keeps growing every year, so it's been really good.
Yeah.
And well,
ginormous when I got it to $10,000.
Right, and this year, I mean, it's an important ministry because it also adds a lot of funds to our budget, and it's so important to our overall church budget, and that's one of the reasons why we're so grateful for Lisa. She's on the vestry. Lisa's and she's our fundraising member of our vestry team, and she and Wendy. This is one of our biggest fundraisers, and it's just great. It's just super. I did want to ask.
It's also an important part of the community too, because it is big for Christchurch, and it is a money raiser. But so many people in the community depend on coming. They make a pilgrimage to come to it every year.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, it's very good.
And because all of there's a lot of gifts you could get for Christmas. I mean, there was the crafts that we have, the Crafters Guild that makes all the wonderful, unique, crafty items, the food items. Oh my God. I love those.
Knitted goods, so many things.
Yeah, and then also
the
knitted goods.
The luncheon's always been a big draw because they do a wonderful job, the choir, putting that on. So that's why we came up with the idea of, if we couldn't have it in person this year, at least give us those wonderful soups that you make. So that's been going well.
I think even like some of the knitted items, we have a knitting group that who does this, and I was, and I actually sat in and I tried to learn how to knit.
Good for
I
you.
could teach you.
I know. I'm still. You know
I
what?
could teach you.
I know. I
Couldn't
know.
teach me.
It's great. The only thing what I remember was whenever I was knitting, though, it was always so hard because I was always kind of wanting to do it well,
The tension.
Yeah, but you've all created there's some beautiful sweaters, especially for little kids, and it's just amazing. For those of you who have not checked out the website, please do. And today, I think also, can you tell me a little bit about the online auction on the website? Do you guys know a little bit about that?
Well, you mean just buying it online?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just have to go to the link, and I guess the link is under our website. It says Christmas Bazaar.
Yeah.
And
I think,
and then put shop. They click the shop all, and go through the things and choose them and put them in your cart like you would anything buying online.
I think there's like also like an online auction where there's some antique gifts and gift certificates to art and boat excursions.
Yes, but I'm not sure. There was a link in an email on that. I don't know if it's on the website now too, which is would be good for people to access it from there. But you can go in and put bids on.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, and one of the thing I think, and Simi and I offered like a dinner, an Indian dinner. So and that's
I've already bid on it.
You did good.
Yeah,
good.
And that's on the marketplace part.
That's in the marketplace part.
Okay,
all right.
Wait a minute. No, that's in
that's on the auction
part.
The auction
There's
part.
a bazaar part and a market.
It's on the auction part.
It's on the auction
part. Whatever.
Yeah, and so like there's boat excursions, there's all sorts of stuff out there, and we'll hear about it throughout the rest of the week. And I know that I think this morning I was talking to staff. They said by Saturday, December 5th, at 5 p.m. they're gonna stop the auction part. So I think for those of us who want to get on it, that should be good. We do the bidding and so forth. And we'll get Lisa and Wendy to come in. I know that on that particular day we're having all sorts of programs that are going to keep people engaged and everything and so forth. Ben and I are working on this one thing where I'm hoping he still does it. He's going to get us a piece of music, and we're going to all do something kind of like a little dance thing. So I hope you guys will do it too. It's beautiful. Well, you know what? We're almost ending in our time. But is there anything that you'd like to? There's Charlie Kitchen walking by. Is there anything? Is there anything that you'd like to share with us in terms of wisdom for this particular moment, or in terms of the auction?
Just the usual, bid often.
Don't give up. Keep bidding. Keep bidding.
All right. Good.
Keep bidding till 5 o'clock.
All right.
Exactly.
Good.
Keep it going. Okay.
Folks, I just want to say one thing. I'm just so grateful for both of you, for all that you do. You're both wonderful, inspirational, and faithful folks. And you have inspired me many, many times over these years. And I'm looking forward to this year being, even in the midst of this challenge, to continue to be inspired by your love and your hope and your joy. Thank you.
Whole congregation. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
All right. We'll see you guys later then. Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry to be dramatic in the beginning.
That's okay. That's the voice of Janet. And and she might be speaking for God at this moment. But folks, we want to thank you for being with us too. And so, Dana Semeraro and Janet Kitchen are examples of great and faithful people in our congregation, and they're doing great work with this bazaar. We're hopeful that this bazaar will be very successful for us, and we hope that you'll help us help it to be a success. But right now we're at the end of our program, and so what we usually do is say our prayer together. This is a prayer that was crafted originally by Bishop Thomas Brown. The Lord be with you. Let us pray. Jesus Christ, you traveled through towns and villages, curing every disease and illness. At your command, the sick were made well. Come to our aid now in the midst of the global spread of the coronavirus. Heal those who are sick with the virus. May they regain their strength and health through quality medical care. Heal us from our fear, which prevents nations from working together and neighbors from helping one another. Be present with those in authority who are making hard decisions. Support the medical professionals, emergency responders, and our caregivers. We ask this all in your name, Jesus. Amen. Join with me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Friends, go in peace to love and serve the Lord. Spread the light of Christ. The world needs it right now. Thank you.